Yo, what's going on? Welcome to our call center training courses for today. Today, we're going to take a look at some grammar. We're going to talk about perfect tenses, affirmative tenses, and contractions. Now, why do you need to focus on your grammar? Because if you don't work on your grammar, you're going to sound unprofessional. Did you know that? Grammar mistakes make you sound unprofessional. And if you want to get into a call center, you got to have good grammar. You got to do a bunch of exams. So I'm going to give you a bunch of tips and insights. Let's get started. Okay, guys. So thank you very much for joining us tonight on this beautiful podcast. Mr. E answers questions. We got a question by one of our friends here. His name is Alex from Guatemala. Says, Mr. E, how can I use my family when I'm talking about family, since it could be plural, and what's the correct auxiliary use? Alex, thank you so much for your question tonight. Let me go ahead and elaborate that one for you. So, um, family uh, is what we call a collective noun. And what is a collective noun? A collective noun talks about a group, right? A group of people, animals, or things. In this case, we'll talk about people. So when you talk about a group of people, we use one word to describe it. So we use, for example, family. Family is a collective noun because it represents a group of members that are related. So, for example, in a family, you've got a dad, you got a mom, and you got a kid. Now, these three conform a group, and we refer to the group as a family, right? A family. Um, just like if you had, let's say, a team is also a collective noun, right? Which refers to a group of people that are part of an organization or some kind of athletic group. They share something in common. Same thing when we say class. When I say class, I'm referring to a group of students. That's a collective noun. So a collective noun is a word that represents a group. Um, in a call center, you work as a team, but call centers are rather big, and you might have other teams in that call center, right? So now I have 1, 2 teams. So now we have 2 teams. So now the plural is teams because I'm referring to 2. The same thing with family. I have 1 family, but in this classroom, we've got like 8 students. So we've got 8 families. We change it to the plural form. So now the collective noun is plural. Now going back to the question, now that we've defined what is a collective noun, let's take a look at the auxiliary rule for present perfect. So in the present perfect, you're going to use, this is the rule. When the subject is plural, we are going to use the auxiliary have. When the subject that we're talking about in the sentence is singular, we are going to use has. Now, if our subject is a collective noun, we have to be careful to choose which auxiliary to use. So in the event of the example, if I say to you, your family, here I'm talking about 1 family. Therefore, I'm going to use has. Your family has been invited. Your family has been invited. But let's say we're talking about many families. We're going to say our families. Here, it's a plural form. Therefore, I'm going to use have. Our families have seen the movie, for example. So here, we'll use the plural. We're using the plural form of the collective noun. Therefore, I must use the have auxiliary. Okay, so I hope that answers your question. Thank you so much for checking out this podcast. Write your comments down below And make sure to support the channel by subscribing to our Patreon channel. And perhaps we can make a video of another topic that you want to learn about. And thank you so much for your contributions. You can click on the PayPal link and make as many donations as you like so we can keep producing more of these videos for you. So thank you so much. And I'll see you next time in our next episode of Mystery Answers Questions for You. Thank you.
Coach, I would like to see you something. Your podcast is amazing.
Thank you. Thank you. Okay, there you go. So Alex, no, en serio. Yeah. So everybody, I got my awesome team over here. Who is the best team? We are.
We are the best team.
We are the best team.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I said, guys, we're gonna write the affirmative form, auxiliary, and verb long form. I'm gonna share with you some insights about the English language, also some cool names. Did you know that the name Ezekiel? Do you know the meaning of the name Ezekiel? What about Jeremiah? I'm also going to talk about those interesting facts from Hebrew names. Let's get started. Okay, so number one. Oh, look at this one. Oh, Mr. E, this one's already answered. Let's refresh it. So there you go. So number one, I been be to Guatemala before. This is perfect tense. So what's the auxiliary there? I have been. Everybody write it down. I have been. I have been. You got it? Okay, so here we're using before and have been because we use present perfect to talk about our experiences in life. Number two, you travel by airplane many times. What's the form of the verb? Let's write the auxiliary. Have traveled. So write it down, traveled. You have traveled by airplane. We use the preposition by the way, and we mentioned the form of transportation, by airplane, by car, by horse, by motorcycle, right? And when we use present perfect to talk about our experiences, it's very common to also mention the amount of times. So we say twice, 3 times, 5 times, 1,000 times, many times. Okay, let's move on to number 3. Have you eaten Korean food? What's the auxiliary there? Third person, we say has. He has, how do we pronounce that verb? Eaten or
Eaten.
you can pronounce it as eaten or eaten, whichever you like, okay? Korean food twice, which is 2 times. Number 4. She, what's the auxiliary there? Has tried. Change the spelling of the verb.
Before.
Yeah, surfing before. So we're talking about experiences. Present perfect is great for that. And we use time expressions like before. Number 5, it be a very busy day. So what is it? It has been. It has been a very busy day. So here you have to interpret this as ha sido. It has been a very busy day. I'm sure of that. Number 6, we already go on vacation this year. So what's the auxiliary here? We have already. What's the form of go? What is it? Gone. Gone. So we've already gone on vacation before. Now remember, when you talk about your vacation, we use collocations. A collocation is a phrase, a commonly used group of words that we use. So we say go on vacation. It's the equivalent of Spanish of saying ir de vacaciones. Went on vacation, right? Which is the past form. And what do you think the participle form is? Gone on vacation, like we're using here for the perfect tenses, all right? So let's learn that collocation. Let's say, guys, go on vacation, went on vacation, and
Went on vacation.
gone on vacation.
Gone on vacation.
You got it. right.
Coach, I have a question about these sentences. The sentences we already have gone.
Yeah, we've already gone. Or we've already gone. Yes, you can put the
Okay, okay,
already before the verb and at the end. Okay,
okay.
great.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Number 7. They have, what's the form of do?
Done,
Done.
done.
Done. They have done their homework already. Here we're putting already at the end of the sentence for emphasis. Let's go to number 8. Oh, this is an interesting one. How do you say Isaias? Isaiah. Isaiah give to the people an important message from God. What's the auxiliary that we use with Isaiah here?
Has.
Has.
Given.
And what's, oh, look at Miss Santos. Miss Santos is on fire. So Isaiah has given to the people an important message from God. Now, of course, Isaiah is one of the major prophets of the Bible. Do you know that the name Isaiah, well, every Hebrew name has a meaning. Did you know that Isaiah means God will save or God saves? That's the meaning of Isaiah. God will save. So there you go. That's the meaning of Isaiah. So if somebody's called Isaias, you go, hey, God will save. That's your name. All right. Beautiful, beautiful thing about the Hebrew names. We'll keep talking some more about that later. Number 9, God writes on the tablets his holy commandments. Now, what's the auxiliary we're going to use here with God? God what? God have or
Has.
God has? Yes, sir.
Has.
God
Has.
written or written on the tablets his holy commandments. So here God is singular. Therefore, we got to use has. All right. Let's go to number 10. Rachel make a delicious cake for the family. What's the form of the auxiliary here? Has made. Everybody write it, please. Rachel has made a delicious cake for her family. Now, remember that with make, just to refresh your memory, we like to talk about CCP. You remember what was CCP? It's what? C for construct, right? C for create, and P, produce or prepare, right, guys? So in English, we sometimes we get confused between do and make, you know? But you can remember how to use make when you talk about constructing, creating, producing, preparing something. So when you talk about food, you're always preparing food, right? Or you make food. So you make a sandwich, you make a cake, you make a salad, you make some chicken, you make dinner, you make lunch. Everybody got it? CCP. So what is the first C, guys? Construct, create, produce, prepare. That's right. There you go. Okay, let's move on. I told you I'm going to give you some extras today. Number 11, the children. The children what? Have
Played.
have played. We're talking about many kids here, right? So it's plural form. So for the plurals, guys, we got to use have. Remember that children is an irregular noun, and it's the plural form of child. Therefore, we must use the auxiliary have in this sense. So the children have played in the swimming pool. Let's go to number 12. The people grow grains for the harvest. What's the auxiliary there? The people?
Has grown.
That's right.
Have grown.
Have grown. That's right. The people have grown.
Have
Now,
grown.
what's the explanation? People is plural. Yes or no? Yeah.
Yeah.
Therefore,
Yeah.
we use the auxiliary have. So the people have grown grains for the harvest. Number 13. This is going to be interesting.
My
Nebuchadnezzar,
goodness.
king of Babylon, order his army to attack the kingdom of Judah. So what auxiliary are you going to use with that one? You're gonna use
Has.
has. Yes, because
Coach,
Nebuchadnezzar is singular, right? One person. So we're gonna say Nebuchadnezzar has, and what's the form of the of order? Ordered. Has
Ordered.
ordered. That's ordered his army. Okay? Don't let that long name confuse you. We're just talking about one person. Number 14. This is an interesting one. The ambassador of Israel come to talk to the president for assistance. So what auxiliary are we going to use? Has? Yes, because we're talking about one person. What is the form of come? Has come. Has come. That's right. Remember that this one, this verb is going to be come. In the past tense came, and the participle come, right? It's the same thing. You remember that group where we have run, past tense of run, ran. What is the participle? Run. And the other one was become, participle. Become. Told you. Everybody got it? So we're here, we're gonna say
Got it.
Has come. Yeah, coach, thank you.
Has run. Has become. You got it. Let's go to number 15. Jeremiah worked for a call center before. What's the auxiliary there? Jeremiah.
Has worked.
Has worked.
Very good, Miss Santos. Has worked. So we're going to use has, and the participle of work is pronounced worked. We never say worked. We say worked. Worked. That's right. So he's talking about his experience, right? Hey, do you know if he's worked in a call center? Yeah, he's worked before. Now, very interesting. Do you know what Jeremiah means? The Hebrew name Jeremiah means God will raise. That's what it means. Jeremiah, God will raise up. Jeremiah was also one of the major prophets of the Bible along with Isaiah. So he was a very important guy. And his name meant God will rise, lift up. Beautiful. Let's go to number 16. Ooh, this one is awesome. I love this name. Number 16 is, how do you say Ezekiel? Ezekiel. Ezekiel. So Ezekiel experienced of 15 years in customer service. What's the auxiliary there? Ezekiel has had. Very good, Danny. Ezekiel has had experience of 15 years in customer service. We're talking about his experience. That's why we say has had. Okay, one is the auxiliary, one is the main verb. Now, the name Ezekiel is also a Hebrew name. Did you know that the name Ezekiel means God will strengthen? That's my favorite prophet, by the way, Ezekiel. Ezekiel was also one of the major prophets of God, by the way. And his name means God will strengthen. I love that name. That's my favorite one. Okay, let's go to number 17. This is my other favorite prophet. Daniel see the lions in the den and is not afraid. What's the auxiliary there?
Has seen.
What's the auxiliary?
Has seen.
Has what? Has seen.
Has seen.
Very good, Miss Santos. So Daniel has seen the lions in the den and is not afraid. Daniel is also a Hebrew name. And do you know what Daniel means? Daniel means God is my judge. That's a beautiful meaning. God is my judge. Therefore, nobody can judge you except God. It's a very beautiful name. By the way, Daniel, I got a picture of Daniel here. Not my cousin Danny, right? Daniel, the prophet. Right? So this is Daniel in the lion's den. So this is Daniel. This is a representation, an artistic representation of the prophet. Over here, you can see Daniel on this corner. Let me move that. You see that? That's Daniel. Daniel has seen the lions. You see the lions, they're ready to eat him. And the place where the lions live is called the den. So you see how brave he was? He was not scared of it. Nope. He was not afraid of the lions at all. So that's Daniel. God is my judge. Totally recommend you guys check that one out. It's major prophet, major prophet. Let's go to number 18. The agents take many calls today. What's the auxiliary there? The agents what?
Have
Yes,
have
sir.
taken.
Have
Taken.
taken. We're talking about a bunch of people, right? When it's plural form, we have to use have. Listen to me. When the subject is plural, we use have. Repeat after me, guys. When the subject is plural, we use have.
With
When
the
the subject
When the
subject is plural,
subject is plural, we use
is
have.
That's right. Guys, it's raining cats and dogs here, man. I'm screaming because it's raining too hard here. It's raining cats and dogs. Right? It's an expression, means it's raining very hard. It's raining cats and dogs here, guys. So if by some reason we get disconnected because of the electrical storm, don't worry, don't freak out. We're gonna be back in a couple of minutes, all right? All right. Now let's continue. Number 19. My family on
have
vacation to
been,
Vancouver. What's the auxiliary?
have.
Oh, here we're gonna say has been. How many families are we talking about, people?
One. Just
One. When we talk about one in the subject, we use has. Okay? So let me give you a tip for the auxiliaries. This is a tip. Write it down. So for the plural subject, when you're talking about many, you're going to use have. Okay? And for the singular, when you're talking about one, you're going to use the auxiliary has. Okay? You got it?
Coach,
Now-
but when I am talking about my family, I can understand that you are talking about a more one person.
That's a great question. Let me go ahead and elaborate on your question response here. Got it? You got it? Ya lo entendiste? You got it?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Okay.
I got it.
All right. Wonderful. Okay, let's go to number 20, guys. So the men climb the volcano many times. What's the form of, okay, the men, I'm talking about many, right, guys? So what's the auxiliary? The men. What's the auxiliary? It's plural. Have. And what's the form, the participle of the verb climb?
Climbed.
Climbed. Everybody got it? We got men. This is plural. Plural. So we say have climbed. Okay, let's take a little look at this one. So that's the collective noun. Everybody got it? Yep. You all got it? Okay. Now, there's the collective noun, but there's also the irregular. The irregular noun. So let's just do a little refresher. So the irregular noun is that type of noun that is not formed with the S form to form the plural form. So for instance, we have man, and the plural form is not mans, right? We say, what's the plural form? Men. Men. For pronunciation, the A is pronounced with a nasal sound. So we say man, man. And here, you're going to pronounce it with an E sound. So you can hear the difference. Man, men. Everybody? Man, men.
Man, man.
Very good. Now, the other irregular noun, and this is a very interesting one, we have woman, right? And the plural form of woman is women. Now, watch this for the pronunciation. The letter O will change. So here for the singular, you'll pronounce it with an not O. That's incorrect. So you're going to say woman. So you change both vowels. Woman. Woman. And in the plural form here, the O will change to I. We. Men. Women in the plural form. So the O will change. Listen again. Woman.
Woman.
Women.
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 Wonderful. And little interesting story about woman. Just a little interesting story that I'd like to share for you. Do you know where the word woman comes from? It's very interesting because you see the word man here, right? Right? And where is it? Where does that word come from? What does it mean? Well, do you know that matriz in English is womb? This is matriz. It's the special organ that women have where the seed germinates and becomes a baby. That's where the baby grows. It's the special organ that only women will ever have. This is called a womb. You don't pronounce the letter B, by the way. You just say womb, like this. Womb. That's the matriz. So, what is a woman? A woman is, we get the word woman from the combination of womb plus man. So womb plus man equals a woman, which basically means a man with a womb. That's where the word woman comes from womb and man. So that's where it comes from. So I'm very sorry for those people that think that they can change themselves, transform themselves to a woman. That's impossible because they're never going to have a womb. That's never going to happen. Okay? So there you go. That's the story of woman. And with this one I close, we have child, like sweet child of mine. And this one is pronounced like this. You're going to pronounce it like this with a diphthong, child. And the plural form of child is what? Children. We never say children's. No, we say children, which is pronounced like this. Children. Okay? Got it? So there you go. So those are irregular nouns in English. And you got to make sure to use the correct auxiliary, right? So we have has or have. So we're going to say a man, what? Has. The men have. The woman has. The women have. The child has. And the children have. Okay? So there you go, you beautiful men and women, children of God. Let's take a 10-minute break. And when we return, we're going to do the second activity. Complete this one and send me a screenshot. Thank you so much.
Coach, you are awesome with